Hi guys, today we're going to be taking a look at a really cool piece of Swiss military history. Now what you see in front of you is a Swiss Army Taz 57/70 uniform, and I believe this is not the original ones from the 50s but the later M70 version, just due to some of the features. But anyway, a little bit of history about this. So this camouflage pattern apparently descends from the late World War II German Liebermuster pattern, which apparently found its way to Czechoslovakia and then found its way to Switzerland. And I guess they first started printing it in 1955, and then in 1957 it was widely adopted. And they used this pattern for a long time, all the way up until 1993, when it was replaced by the Taz 90 uniform, which is basically the same shape and pattern with just different colors. And currently the Swiss Army is modernizing with a version of this in the multicam color configuration, or OCP color configuration, but generally takes the same colors. I mean, not the same colors, the same shapes. So what's cool about this is they're very readily available on the surplus market, very common, and pretty utilitarian. You can see that there's tons of pockets. And we'll get into talking about what each of these pockets does, because instead of inventing a load-bearing system, like a lot of other militaries used at the time, with like a belt and suspenders and stuff on the belt, everything is built into this uniform, as you'll notice, with tons of pockets inside and out, and even a built-in backpack, and we'll look at that as well. It is primarily just 100% cotton, so it doesn't really breathe very well. It's not the most modern, by those standards, but it is pretty rugged and seems to have served them well for a while. So let's get into the uniform itself. So there's a lot of different variations of this pattern, namely in the color scheme of the different colors. Some of them are darker, some of them are lighter. This one is a bit darker. A lot of the variation comes in this, light brown pattern. And like I said, it's a 6-color pattern. You got this dark red right here, this lighter red color, this brown/tannish color, this black color, and this green color right here, and then this light blue / turquoise color. Now this is another big point of variation. This often does vary a lot depending on the uniform. Sometimes this can be like almost white, sometimes this can be a lot bluer, but you can see right here it's more of a turquoise on this uniform. And this almost appears to be brown from the video, but rest assured it is dark red. And that's one of the things that makes this so unique and pleasant to look at, is the dominant red color. You don't really see red as a dominant color in most military uniforms, but the idea behind this is that from a distance, red is harder to see, so it kind of turns into brown. So that's kind of the general idea behind going for a red dominant uniform. So yeah, pretty cool. And then if you look at the shapes, you've got kind of these goopy, drippy shapes right here. The primary main background color is this tan/brown. These patterns overlap, and then you'll notice some of this as well. It looks like almost like forks from a comb or something like that. That's another pretty common feature you'll notice as well. So very, very interesting when you get into the nitty-gritty of it. But yeah, let's start from the front, and we'll work our way down. So if we go up here to the top, we can see that we have these chest pockets right here. Now these are rifle pouches, ammunition pouches for the Sturmgewehr 57, the primary weapon used at that time. So this is where the magazines would go, and as you can see, there is a piece of material in here separating, so you can have 2 magazines, I believe. And then you'll notice that there's 2 of these clips, or 3 actually. And the way it goes is like 3D. So it's like front, and then it goes like that. So when you put them in, this will cover both the front and the side. So that's very cool. And then if we move to the left side of the uniform, we'll see that there are another set of pouches. These ones are kind of stitched together, so this can hold, it looks to be about 3. So you have this dividing piece right here, 2 right there, 1 right here, and this one has a whopping, looks like 4 buttons as well. And these are pretty sturdy metal buttons, as you can see. And as we work our way downwards, I believe this one was where the NBC suit would go. The gas mask itself would go around your waist. I have one of those. I'll do a whole video putting together all the gear, because I do have most of the gear to accurately recreate a mid-80s Swiss Army soldier. But this stuff down here, I believe is like kind of personal items. It's really escaping me right now. I reviewed the chart, but you can look online and find out exactly what was down here. I know in the back is where a lot of the food and other items would go. But we'll go up more here, and we'll take a look right here on the shoulders. We can see that we have a button right here, and this is the epaulets. I bought these online, and you can buy them online too. This is what they wore. I think the regular infantry. I think the enlisted officers had a different style, and there's other different types, but you can look online and you can see in the videos from that time what they looked like. And I just saw this and I was like, that seems to be it. So moving down along the left arm, looks like we've got a pouch right here. This apparently is for a small med kit, and you also got these snap buttons that can be kind of hard to open sometimes. I haven't opened them in a while. All right, there we go. Yeah, nothing too big, but big enough for a small first aid kit. And then down at the end here, we have this kind of scrunched up part right here. Probably used to be more elastic. And then a little bit of a zipper right here, so you can roll your sleeves back. Now, one thing about these uniforms is that the arms, for whatever reason, tend to run short. So you'll notice that if you try one on, might not be quite long enough for your arm. I'm not really sure what that is. But anyway, apparently on earlier versions of the uniform, they didn't really have this kind of like scrunched up wrist thing. If you turn it to the back, you'll notice there's a different type of material. This is like a waterproof type of material, and mine seems to actually be in pretty good shape. Most of the color is still there. Not too much of it is faded off. Here's the zipper if anyone's interested in looking at that. Very cool. Looks like it says Riri. Very cool. But yeah, this material over time can degrade, and I've seen a lot of people, theirs isn't in such good condition. But they do make like rain ponchos and tarps out of these, which is pretty neat. Another thing I failed to mention right here is this clip. This is for your helmet. If you're not wearing it, you can clip it onto here and hold it from your chest. So that's pretty cool. And if we move up to the very top, we can see right here we do have a little strap here to hook it onto, a hook. And then on our collar, we have multiple buttons, so we can button it up, and make it really tight, probably in the cold. So that's really cool as well. On the other side, on the right side, same thing. We got another epaulet, and there's not really any pouches on this arm, so yeah, nothing too crazy there. Pretty regular. And here's a surprise. You couldn't really see this from before, but the hood is back here. So this is pretty cool too, this hood, because it's very big, but it also has a very cool surprise hidden within. And if you know this uniform, you know what it's going to be. But if you don't, I have a surprise for you. So right up here, which is buttoned up, we have a veil, a camouflaged veil, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, this material, undo that, and you can have it cover your face. And yeah, it's roughly the pattern of the uniform. Very unique. There's like a whole little pouch in here where it rolls up. You button that to close it, and you also have these drawstrings to draw it closer as well. So overall, a lot of stuff just in this one hood, you know, like a lot of different utility in just this one part. You know, this whole uniform is just very, very, very neat. And another thing I want to go back to is you see these belt loops here. Well, this is where you'd put your standard issue belt. This is one that I have. It's pretty nice. This would all be black back in the day. But basically, this would go around, and this is where you have your gas mask and your bayonet for your Sturmgewehr 57 attached to this belt, and also potentially a leather pistol pouch as well. I've seen these in different photos holding them. But yeah, it's actually like a very wide loop for a pretty thin belt, and you don't wear this on the pants because the pants are suspenders, and we'll do a whole different video about that. And yeah, these do just have a button that you can unbutton them, and then there's a hole here for ventilation, I would assume. Before we go to the back, I will undo the front zipper because we haven't really talked about that. There are a number of buttons along the length, 1, 2, 3 down here. Then you have this big zipper right here. You can undo that. Open it up in here, and you can see the inside. And there's some information here. I believe this is size information. Not super detailed. I think this is the year of production, 1973. 52 is the chest size or something. FZM might be the manufacturer. And then you also notice there's a hidden zipper right here. So I think this is a spot where you would keep a utility knife or something like that. But it is quite big. You can actually fit a lot of stuff in here. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, and then you'll notice that there's a whole thing behind here. I think this is where you would store your clothes, your spare clothes, and other stuff like that, light stuff, and it serves as kind of a little bit of padding for your back. So yeah, there's like almost a little section here to hold the clothing, which is pretty cool. And I'm not sure what these other straps are for, but I'm pretty sure these ones are for clothing. So now we're going to flip it around, and there's a whole bunch of stuff on the back as well, including the backpack. So I'll flip it around real quick. Oops. Alrighty. And right here, hold on. We have a backpack. This one you can tell is a little bit lighter of a pattern compared to the uniform itself. But the idea behind this backpack is that it connects to the uniform in the front right here. Let's see. It's got these clips right here, and this is already on the uniform. So all you got to do is clip it onto there, and you're good. So you got these two pouches right here. These are rifle grenade pouches. Pretty self-explanatory, fits those pretty well. And this back pocket is for your rain jacket. It's like actually a huge rain cape. It goes all the way, it covers your whole body. I have one as well. Very big, so you can fit that in there. And then what you got right here, this little loop, you put the shovel through. And these loops, I believe, are to carry the shovel cover. So the shovel cover attaches to this, and then the shovel goes through here, the folding shovel. And you just have these 3 buttons to button it up right here. And then you also have these straps down here to strap it, or like these loops right here to connect it to the bottom of the uniform. So this first back part is designed to be pretty empty because you have the backpack there. But then at the bottom you'll notice there's quite a few pouches. So what are these pouches for exactly? Well, this big one, I believe, is where you put your gun cleaning kit. So obviously you have that in there and any other related items to that. And that's why it's pretty big. It's got like 1, 2, 3 buttons, and it's very deep. Like, this will hold a lot of material. I believe this is where you would store your food, so kind of a smaller food storage pocket. And it does have, 1 button, but it's made to be 3-dimensional, as you can see here. So that's pretty neat as well. And then this one here on the side, I believe this is where your mess kit and stove would be stored, something along those lines. And then there's another outer pocket here made of that same like waterproof material I was showing earlier. This looks like it has like individual little spots, maybe for utensils or pens or something. I'm not honestly too sure about that one. Yeah, I'm not exactly confident about this one right here, and like I said, I kind of forgot what the ones on the bottom of the front did. I do know the ones on the chest are all for magazines. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the gun cleaning kit, and then you got your food related stuff there. Clothes go in the back of the uniform, like I showed you that spot before. The med kit in that arm pouch. And there's also like a boot repair kit that I have. I don't know exactly where that was meant to fit in, if that's part of this uniform or if that's like a separate thing. But I mean, you can definitely carry a lot of gear on here. I'm sure one of these would have a canteen as well for water, obviously. But if you compare it to like contemporary kits at the time, it's definitely interesting. Now I want to hear from you, if you were in the Swiss Army at the time, what you thought of this uniform, because I have heard some mixed reviews. I've heard a lot of former soldiers complain about it being too hot, in hot weather. I'm sure it's good for the cold, and also just being kind of too much of a burden, or kind of being a lot to carry in one uniform. Because like, if you think about it, if you have a Alice belt or something, you can take that off. But if you're carrying all your stuff on your jacket, then you can't really like take it off. It's all one piece. But ultimately, it's a really cool uniform. I really love the color. I really just love the whole package is really cool. And I know a lot of other people do as well. And it's really nice that these are plentiful and affordable. Yeah, it's a really cool piece of military surplus. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll definitely do another video on the pants as well, the suspender system, because that has quite a few pockets as well, and it's got its own thing going on there. And then I'll do a video just showing what the period correct kit would look like. But overall, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for looking at this video, and I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. Thank you.